KDAW Veerasinghe and Company Private Limited is today one of the leading construction companies in Sri Lanka, having been in existence for over 20 years in the field of civil construction. We are a C1 category in the field of highways and have successfully completed several large road projects in Sri Lanka. The project, construction of the road pavement of the Southern Transport Development Project, JBIC Section Package 2, Dodangoda to Kurundugaha from 54.52 kilometers to 66.44 kilometers. The client, TAYS Corporation. The consultant, Oriental Consultant Company Limited. Cost. The estimated contract sum of the project was Rs 969 million. And at completion, the cost was Rs 1,041,680,844. Construction period. The original construction period was 15 months commencing from 26th December 2009 and ending 26th March 2011. However, with the additional work and approved time extensions, the project was completed on 17th September 2011. Pre-planning. Site location layout plan. The project was located from the bridge over the Benthara River to Kurundugaha interchange. The company was privileged to be the first domestic contractor invited by the main contractor, Messrs. TAYS Corporation, for the construction of the road pavement in the first expressway in Sri Lanka. Engagement of personnel. After receiving the letter of intent from the client, the project manager prepared a construction program and a resource schedule to implement this program with the assistance of relevant staff under the guidance of the general manager of the company. To implement that construction program, the company improved their existing crusher and asphalt plant located at Batapola and purchased some construction machinery and recruited the required human resources under the guidance of the chairman and managing director of the company. Construction program. The construction program was prepared in order to meet the time targets. Planned activities were marked with milestones wherever applicable. Implementation. Site organization and management. The project was managed by a project manager with the assistance of an operation manager and a site manager. Qualified and experienced technical officers and experienced supervisors were deployed to assist the site engineers. The planning engineer was stationed at the site assisted by a quantity surveyor, a draftsman to carry out the planning and monitoring of the progress of the site, and to prepare the interim valuations, variations and extra work claims, subcontract bills, etc. Two experienced and highly skilled asphalt gangs of the company, headed by experienced pavement engineer, were deployed to carry out asphalt laying works under the direct supervision of the operations manager of the project. Scope of works. The project comprised of construction of approximately 12 kilometers of road pavement, 4-lane carriageway with hard shoulder, including construction of sub-base and base course using aggregate base course material, asphalt binder and wearing course. The design, construction specification and the level of quality assurance system were much more stringent than the road works we carried out in previous road contracts. After obtaining approval for the method statements by the employer, Messrs. TAYS Corporation, field trials were conducted as per the approval. After obtaining approval to proceed, construction commenced. At the completion of the project, 59,059 metric tons of asphalt and 126,738 cubic meters of ABC had been laid. Research and development. Laying of aggregate base course using asphalt paver in place of mortar grader. The introduction of asphalt pavers with appropriate modifications in place of mortar graders in the laying of aggregate base course ABC with speed and accuracy in the Southern Expressway, and the RDA has encouraged other contractors to adopt this method. Due to this improvement in methodology using of modified asphalt paver in laying aggregate base course ABC, with much improved evenness of the finished sub-base surface, the ABC material saving was 11% by volume. Further, due to the evenness of the finished base course surface, saving of the binder course material was around 2% by mass. The company has introduced the laying of 12-meter width asphalt layer using 2 numbers asphalt pavers on simultaneously. This technology was introduced and practiced for the first time in Sri Lanka at the Southern Expressway at the Southern Highway project. Major advantages of this method are: save time by 50%, avoid forming a cold joint, save time and cost for the rectification of the longitudinal cold joint, cost saving on plants and labor, minimize the material wastage, safety measures. Training programs for safety at site were carried out for the site personnel periodically to ensure strict adherence of safety requirements, and a dedicated officer closely monitored the health and safety activities at site. All workers on site wore personal protective equipment or PPE, such as safety helmets, high visible clothes, luminous jackets, safety boots, gum boots, eye, head and respiratory protective equipment, and wet weather protective clothes if and when required. Marking and covering of hazard area done systematically by providing, erecting and maintaining of all signs, warning lights, barriers, etc. Hazard identification on site. Quality control. Since this was a quality assurance based contract, our project quality assurance in charge carried out the responsibility of maintaining, controlling and assuring quality. This was achieved by implementing quality control procedures and tests pertaining to sub-base construction, aggregate-based course, bitumen, asphalt concrete. In addition to formal testing, we have carried out surface riding test for the first time in Sri Lanka at a Southern Transport Development project. Security arrangements. Security works was subcontracted to a reputed security firm. Welfare facilities for workers. All workers and staff were provided with accommodation at the site as well as outside site in close proximity. Sanitary and washing facilities, safe drinking water, food and tea, cooking facilities, changing rooms, etc. were also provided. Cleanliness and waste disposal, environmental management. All work was carried out in accordance with the Environmental Management Action Plan of the STDP. All engaged bodies of the STDP have adhered to this EMAP. All project staff was made aware of the measures which had to be taken to fulfill the project-specific environmental objectives. Material handling. 100% of the metal requirement was produced by a company-owned crusher plant installed at Batapola in close proximity to the site with a total capacity of 80 cubic meters per hour. The total asphalt requirement for the project was met through an asphalt plant installed at the same location with a total capacity of 80 tons per hour. Monthly resources reconciliation was done too. Progress and review management. Daily, weekly and monthly construction programs were followed, and the progress of entire construction activities was monitored by the project management and planning and monitoring division of the company separately. As a result, we have substantially completed the project by 30th June 2011 and successfully completed the entire works including extra works by 17th September 2011. It is way ahead of the entire project completion date. Maintenance of records. We maintain the required documentation and reports in accordance with our QMS. These included the site logbook, variation orders, day work sheet, etc. Challenges. In this contract, the design, construction specification and level of quality assurance system were much more stringent than the roadworks we carried out in previous road contracts. It is the biggest challenge faced by the project team. Heavy rains which were beyond the acceptable weather patterns were also a challenge, and it resulted in delays. The project has exemplified the ability of a local construction company and a local construction management team made up of solely Sri Lankan workforce to deliver such a high-quality development project.